Shalom Israel. First, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh by Shemel Shai by Shem Kakadash. I want to see Pastor Ezra Millstone, peace, citation, one of Israel. And for this lesson, I want to title it, The Woman Will Come. Alright, and being here in captivity, can't enjoy these women, Now you may get a bone here and there, but it's only for a moment. And shit, the woman you get, they're not even yours. They're temporary at the end of the day. So, you have to treat it like such, and you have to understand that, what's the saying in the world? It's, she's not yours, it's just your turn. This is how low this place has been brought, Motherfucking sharing women and shit. But I'm going to read Isaiah 4:1. It says, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right. And 7 represents completion, So it can be any amount of woman that the Lord sends your way. But, I was talking with bro. And, we're just talking about women and whatnot. And ultimately, the Lord, he's going to send... Scripture says he'll give everything, every due thing in let me just get it. There you go. Sirach 39:33 says, all the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season. All right, so, if bros don't got a woman right now, maybe it's because the Lord knows that you don't need one. All right. The woman, and once you start, actually talking to these women and whatnot, and actually dealing with them, it's just like, you start to see this shit is overrated. It's more of a 144 it's more of the hype around it now, but it's in our nature, us as men, we love women, but you can't enjoy them because of how fucked up they are, mentally, But at the end of the day, the Lord's he's gonna flip everything. All right. You gotta put a whole application in for a bitch. Look at this dumbass nigga, bro. Stupid ass. Weak ass honk. But you gotta put a damn application for a bitch, And you gotta, man, this shit is terrible. But don't even trip, all right? Because, even bros say, the Lord, he could be, the Lord is holding back certain women, a lot of women for your safety, all right? Because these bitches out here, they got all types of demons on them, Look at the shit they do, and look at the shit that they do that you don't see, Bitches be into all types of witchcraft, and do you really want to deal with that just because, bros, is, you starving for a moment? No, So, at the end of the day, we got to be patient, Elder Apostle Gabar, he made a video. He said we got to be as that coiled serpent, knowing when to strike. Because when the Lord actually flips this thing, it's not just going to be it's gonna be huge, because going down into this verse, it says, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right, it's gonna get so drastic out here that a woman is going to be down with the fact of sharing a man, because in this society, you talk to your woman about having another woman. Let's see how she looks at you. The concept of having multiple women here, it's the worst thing ever. All right, but yet, just show you how ass backwards this world is. Having multiple women is the worst thing ever, but yet two homos can be together. Like, you see you see why this place gotta go. All right. Or a woman she's praised for having a high body count, or multiple niggas on the line, you know. But this is how low this place has been brought, you know. But guess what? The Lord, he's about to flip all this in due time. You know, I heard from Elder Kazak Ya'ala from GMS Mississippi. He said the Lord, he's setting the puzzle pieces in play for these things to take place. You know, because bros be making videos about how these women, you know, I know the elder from GMS Kansas City, he made a video on how these women, they're going to these like single events and no men are showing up, you know. So this shit is all, you know, the pride of these women is falling, you know. This place is done, you know. There's the whole tension between men and women, you know. These men don't even, you got passport bros, you know. Basically men that go to other countries to deal with women because the women here are so fucked up. And trust me, I ain't gonna say trust me, but it's definitely a blessing not dealing with a lot of these women. All right, because you literally have to lower your way of thinking to deal with these women. They're like kids, you know. Bro's got all different types of things to think about, ponder about. You know, Yahweh Shmi outside this truth being first and foremost. But she's just gonna be a dead weight, you know, in your ear, and who knows what, you know, she may do. All right, Satan got control of these women. They may be acting good for a moment, but then Satan, that nigga clock in on your woman's brain, and that bitch is acting like a demon out of nowhere too. That's why, you know, the moods be all fucked up. Everything's all fucked up. All right, so that's why, you know, at the end of the day, you know, just be patient. You know, easier said than done, but it's all gonna be worth it. All right. What's that? Sirach 11:25. All right, Sirach 11:25. It says, in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. You know. I say, you know, you've been on a drought, and the Lord throw you a bone, man, you forget all about that drought. You be like, oh shit, you know, feeling rejuvenated and shit, replenished. It says, in the day of affliction, there's no more remembrance of prosperity. You know, we all mopey and shit. Oh, you know, I want a woman, this, that, and third, bro. The Lord, he's keeping us from these women, you know, for a reason. Because there's multiple accounts, you know, that elders and apostles have said that how women have snatched men out of the truth, you know? And that's the last thing you want, you know? Is to ever fall out of the truth, you know? And you don't want to fall out of the truth because of a fucking woman, bro. One woman. Sirach 19 and 2. It says, wine and woman will make men of understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent. All right, let's look at that word, or let's look this up in the GNT. Sirach 19:2. All right, Sirach 19:2. It says, wine and woman make sensible men do foolish things. A man who goes to prostitutes gets more and more careless, and that carelessness will cost him his life. Worms will feed on his decaying body. All right, and ultimately, these women these women are prostitutes. Let's look at the word prostitute. Prostitute, to offer to indiscriminate sexual intercourse. Says a person, in particular a woman, who engages in sexual activity for payment. And what are you not paying for the poom poom? You know, you gotta take a bitch out. You know, you gotta do all this, that, and the third for some ran through box. This shit it's overrated. All right. Now, you know, if you do it, you do it. All right, but don't let that be uh just a constant, a constant itch in your mind, I guess you could say. Now obviously we're men. We gonna have to handle business at the end of the day, but understand that shit. You gotta have patience at the end of the day. And this goes for me first and foremost. All right, but these women, these prostitutes. All right, the Lord, He's gonna give us real women in due time. Real soon. This ain't a thing of 30 years down the line. Like, bro, all hell can break loose, and that's when the shift of power comes. Shift of power, basically going into how the Lord is going to show His men, show the world His men. And then that's when these women are gonna be cleaving. All right, because women, by nature are hypergamous. That's why you got these ugly ass niggas that got money, this, that, and third, and the woman they geeked on him. All right, because he's in his power right now. But in due time, the Lord's gonna flip the switch. All right, so hopefully, this lesson was edifying. We blessed. All right, if you got this truth, you blessed. All right, let's get that. Romans 8 and 28. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High, to them who are the called according to His purpose. So, say you get a woman or you don't get a woman, if you continue to serve Yahweh Bashmi outside, it's for your benefit. Maybe a woman leaving you was for you to, gain this insight or gain the experience on how to deal with women that the Lord's about to send you. All right, or whatever it is. At the end of the day, just cleave to Yahweh Bashmi outside, and everything will be all right. All right. I think I want another scripture. I think it's actually, yeah, I'll just hold that off. But yeah, so we gotta just we can't get too focused on you can't focus on the woman. All right, focus on the prize, and everything else will follow. All right, a good point is King Solomon. All right, let's get that account. There you go. 1 Kings 3:11. It says, and the Most High said unto him, this is the Lord speaking to Solomon, says, because thou hast asked this thing. And what did King Solomon ask for? He asked for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Basically how to judge his people. It says, and has not asked for thyself long life, neither has asked riches for thyself, nor has asked the life of thine enemies, but has asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. All right, so ultimately, all that all the shit, the riches, the wealth, the woman, the honor, all that is going to come with it, later on, but we got, before honor is humility. So a part of the humility is not having a woman, being on a drought, catching hell from a woman, but in due time, all that is going to change. All right, we just got to be patient and understand that a major flip is coming. All right, so the temporary situation you're going through right now is temporary. All right, because with snap of a fingers, the Lord he can switch it. All right, and he's done it multiple times. Just look back at certain things you've gone through that the Lord has delivered you out of. Or the Lord has showed you. So, hopefully this was well said and edifying. I want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashmi Al Shah.